I saw on your Instagram, I think, that you helped host the largest rally of Ferraris, the world record.
Yes, I do. Do you want me to go and get the Guinness World Record? And
I was going to ask, do you have the Guinness World Record certificate?
I do. Wait there. So for anyone listening or viewing and so forth who doubts this is genuine. Okay, this is a real certificate from the Guinness World Records, and look, you can see the. I don't know. You can probably see the that way. There we are. Probably see the.
Oh yeah.
Yep. This is a genuine certificate. From Guinness World Records. So back in 2012, I was working for Ferrari, and I remember at my interview with Ferrari, and I'm still very good friends with the director of communication at Ferrari, a really, really good guy, and we have had many, many funny tales and events between us. But I remember at the interview, he said, "Tim, we're thinking about setting a world record this year. It currently stands at about 450 odd. Do you reckon you can do 500? And I said to him, no, I don't. And he was like, okay, what do you reckon you should do? I was like, we will do 1,000. We will do 1,000. 1,000 is what gets you news. 1,000.
Yeah.
I was like, right, on that basis, you've got the job. So it was my job to basically bring together 1,000 Ferraris all together, and we had a parade. Now, I've since gone on, and we're still working with Guinness at the moment on these two other world records for the largest parade of Mazdas and the largest parade of convertibles. But for a parade, people don't realise this, but for a parade of vehicles, according to Guinness World Records, they can be no further apart. There cannot be a break in that parade. Every vehicle has to be moving, and there can be no more than 2 car lengths between any vehicle. If there's more than 2 car lengths, that's it. That's the end of the parade. You start a new one. So we had to get a place where we could have 1,000 Ferraris all moving together at the same time. We had Silverstone. I've got a photo of Silverstone from the helicopter that was videoing it all and so forth. And literally the entire circuit is red from all of the Ferraris that were there.
Wow.
And there was a 200-yard gap between the end of the parade and it starting again. We physically could not get any more cars on there. So yeah, we had 1,000 Ferraris. The record actually stood once it went through, as you can see, at 964, and that's because we had some race Ferraris in there, which we thought would be permitted, but Guinness later said no, they have to be road registered with license plates and so forth. So the race cars, unfortunately, were discounted from it. And there was a couple of people who hadn't filled out forms and so forth correctly, which were also discounted from it. But we had 964 Ferraris around Silverstone, all moving at the same time. That
is incredible.
Yeah, that was quite spectacular.
I imagine, well, with Ferrari's budget behind it, you couldn't really go wrong with the helicopter and renting Silverstone.
This is the thing. People think there's like big budget behind it. Sure, there was a budget, but it wasn't as much as you'd think.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't as much as you think at all. It was very much okay, we were already using Silverstone for an event, so we did it at the end of the day,
fair enough.
sort of after it all. We had a lot of help from the Ferrari Owns Club. A lot of people who did it. In fact, everyone who drove their car did it voluntarily. You know, they brought their cars down voluntarily. There was no money exchanged involved for being involved in the attempt. In fact, for every car that got involved, I think they donated. How much did they donate? They said for every car that went through, they would donate an amount to Ben, the automotive charity. I think they donated something like £10,000 or £20,000. I can't remember now.
Wow.
So, you know, there was some budget involved, but a large portion of it did go to charity. And it wasn't, millions and millions of pounds. It wasn't that at all. It was a lot of actual organisation and hard work that brought it all together and made it happen. I do remember when all the cars were going on, and you have to have official counts. You have to have like official adjudicators who counted them on. We counted all the cars onto the track, and then we went to go and get back into the golf buggy to go back to the grandstand where we had a podium where they could stand and count all the cars coming across the checkpoint. And the golf buggy had died. Okay, the batteries had gone flat in it. So I was like, oh my God, I've got to get 3 adjudicators from here to the grandstand in less than 4 minutes when those cars start going across that start-finish line. Otherwise, this entire thing is going to break. and there was a double-decker bus that was going between the car parks. I just ran over and just grabbed hold of the driver. I was like, I don't care where you're going. Right now, I need you over there. I need you to get these people over there straight away. And we just flew across Silverstone in this double-decker bus to get us there, and literally ran up the stairs just as the cars started coming round that first corner.
Wow,
brilliant!
Did you film that for your channel, or is this before? This is before your channel started?
This is well before, but there is a video on YouTube, and I do still have a copy of the video as well.
Right.
So I'll send those over to you. We had Felipe Massa driving the first car, and he had the president from the automotive charity Ben in the car with him. I remember the factory in Italy were like, right, we're going to fly Massa in. He'll arrive about 4:30. He'll do the lap and he'll leave about 10 to 5, and that'll be it. And we're like, no. It's going to take about an hour just to get the cars on track. He's going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, Chris Evans, the radio presenter, he's got a couple of Ferraris. Was he involved in any way?
I don't think he was. No, we did have Vicky Butler Henderson there. And I've worked with Vicky a few times as well. Vicky, very, very lovely person. Vicky. Love working with Vicky. Worked with Quentin Wilson before as well. Also a really, really good guy. Really good guy.
Wow. So that must be your... Is that your only Guinness World Record certificate? You said you're working on some other ones, but is that the only one that you've actually...
I've got 2 more that we're working on at the moment. It's a bit tricky because for every car that goes through, you have to have a form that basically says there's so many details on it, but basically it's the manufacturer, the model, the driver's signature, the registration number, and I think some of them even want the chassis number and so forth, so they can verify that all of these cars were actually there. And then you've got to have all the video footage that shows they're not 2 meters more apart. Although quite interested, I'm half tempted to resubmit it now and say, well, hang on a second, COVID restrictions say that you have to be more than 2 meters apart. But yeah, there's a lot of loopholes to get through it all. And you can imagine, I mean, that was 1,000 cars on track. For the Mazda one, we had about 1,400 cars on track.
Wow. And
we did it, I think it was up at Bruntingthorpe that we did it. Yeah, so you can imagine how much work goes in to doing that. And it's just to and fro. In fact, we are looking at redoing it again potentially next year to see if we can increase the number.
Wow! So doing it that one time didn't put you off?
No. Love doing stuff like that. So there is nothing quite like standing on a runway and seeing a line of cars coming towards you. Seeing, like, say, 1,500 cars coming towards you at, say, I don't know, 10 or 20 miles an hour, and knowing there is nothing you can do to stop this wall of cars coming towards you. I mean, the Mazda one, it was 4 abreast, and it was like, I need to choose where I stand. Do I stand in the middle? Because once these cars start coming through, I'm not going to be able to move either side probably for about 40 minutes. And it does take about 45 minutes for that parade, from the very start of that parade to the very end of it, to go across that single point.
Wow. Yeah, that is quite a surreal sight to behold. I can imagine.
It is quite bizarre. It is quite bizarre. And when you're telling people, look, because I don't know why people do this, okay? I don't understand why they do this. But what they like to do is like hold back, create a nice big gap, and then nail it to get past it, straight past the thing. Why are you doing that? Stop doing that, because now you're creating waves, and this is more than 2 meters. You're going to break the world record. So, the first time around, we had people doing it, and I had a radio mic that was linked to a transmitter. We got everyone to tune in to 87.7, whatever the FM frequency was that we're allowed to use. And I was going around at one point. I was like, look, guys, if you start doing this and keep doing this, I'm going home, because we're not going to be able to break this world record with you lot acting like idiots. And I will start naming and shaming you if I have to. And I was like, if you see somebody doing it, point them out to me. Let me know. So I was going around. I was literally like, you in the G-Reg, what are you doing? Pull forward. And everyone around it was like, move, go forward.
That is funny.
Sense of camaraderie there between.
Yeah, camaraderie there, definitely.